Hi everyone. I just wanted to do a quick video on some games that I got from Japan. I just want to show them quickly and talk about them a little bit, um, mainly because they're pretty awesome and I love collecting physical games. And if you get me talking about physical games, I won't shut up. So hopefully this video isn't too long, but I'll try and keep it brief. Anyway, so my younger brother went to Japan and he visited a few retro game stores, and so he picked some of these up for me. Three of them he bought for me, which is very kind of him, and the other ones I bought. So I'll show you the three that he got for me, which are more modern than the other ones. So first off, Final Fantasy 13 on the PlayStation 3. I mean, it's a pretty good timing actually because I was planning on doing a Final Fantasy 13 run through. I haven't played the game all the way through, um, and from what I'm aware of this game, uh, it was derided when it came out. I was too young to really understand Final Fantasy at the time, but I know that it was derided. People didn't like its linearity and certain aspects of the story and characters and the gameplay. But I think over time people have warmed up to it a bit. Its visuals and vibes are really sweet, and its mythology that was created around the game. Like they created like an insane mythos with the world and the characters. That doesn't really happen a lot anymore, especially for a game like this. So I am pretty keen on playing it. I did have the game on Xbox 360, but the Xbox 360 version is not very good. It runs lower than 720p, and it's on three discs because this game is 41 gigabytes. That's crazy. To be fair, though, the developers literally had to sacrifice their lives getting it made. It was in development hell for a long time, and the game engine that it ran on wasn't extremely optimized. But it does look very good. For the time, it's probably one of the best looking games ever. So I'll just open it up and show you. So, 41 gigabytes, so thank God for Blu ray discs. And the manual. I miss manuals so much. And this one's beefy as well. It's a really beefy manual. I think it's like 41 pages or something. So, oh no, about 30, which is still very big. No, 39, 40, yeah, about 40 pages. So, yeah, so good pickup. Extremely cheap, but, uh, that just means it's good value for money. So the next one, Guilty Gear Xrd Revelator. I love Guilty Gear. Well, I love fighting games in general, but Guilty Gear is one I really love, mainly because of its visuals, especially in recent games, where it's technically 3D. It's built in Unreal, but the way that they sort of like make the animation a little bit choppy, sort of gives it like an anime feel, is really good. And Arc System Works, the developers there, they basically created that visual style, and they're still the best at it even to this day. So this is technically a sequel to Xrd Sign, but the thing about Guilty Gear is that the story isn't really the main focus. It's mainly about the gameplay. These games were those Japanese games that released in arcades well after arcades were dead in the West. Same with like Tekken and other Arc Sys games like Blaze Blue. So the story doesn't matter. Although with Blaze Blue, to be fair, Blaze Blue on their console versions had pretty long and intricate stories. So, and this does have a story mode, which isn't too bad. But the problem is, it basically plays like a visual novel. It's not very interactive at all, um, which just goes against the whole ethos of Arc System Works games, where the gameplay is the best part about their games. But it doesn't matter. So again, I'll open it up and show you. There's a disc, another really beefy manual. I mean, even for a fighting game, this is a really thick manual. So yeah, I really love that. That's one of the best parts about buying physically, actually, is the manuals. So, and this actually got like a semi-sequel update called Rev 2, which I have downloaded. So it basically, like, I'm pretty sure it adds a new story mode, some new characters, and some new content, which also brought the game to PS4. So, but I've got the PS3 version here. They're exactly the same besides resolution. So yeah, Guilty Gear Xrd Revelator, great fighting game, and I highly recommend everyone actually check it out because Strive, which is the newest one, is still pretty good, but this one I think is still better. And for me, mainly, it's because it has one of the best finishing move. I don't know the word, but it's like the best finishing move systems ever. It's like like Mortal Kombat, like fatalities, and the fatalities are really awesome. Like they're real cinematic, and is a great way to end off a battle. These ones have something similar. They're not as graphic or as violent as fatalities, but they're like mini movies. Like my favorite is a character called Baiken, who was introduced in that Brev 2 update. So when you use this Ender move, like it pulls out of the map, and she's like in an old Japanese onsen, I think they're called. And you see like an anime style swipe across the screen, and then everything in the map like slides off in half. Like those old cheesy anime samurai movies. So, and that's just one. And so there's one for every character, and they're all really great. So that's why I still love Guilty Gear Revelator a lot more than Strive. But Strive is still good. And then finally, this is the last game that my brother bought me. Final Fantasy X needs no introduction. One of the best games ever made. I have played it, obviously, but I played it on the HD version for the first time. I've never played the original PS2 version. And the problem with video games back around the time that this came out, early 2000s, especially Japanese games, is that they didn't really archive their stuff well. And so for this one in particular, the source code for the game was lost or corrupted or wasn't very good. So when they did the HD version, they had to redo a lot of it from scratch, which resulted in a lot of changes that a lot of die-hard FF10 fans hate, especially the character models. The character models are the big one. The character models, especially for Tidus. I know technically his name's Tidus, but I'm not fucking calling him Tidus. But Tidus looks a lot different. It looks more twink-ish than it did in the original. So I do want to play the original PS2 version just to see how different it is and to see if those complaints from those hardcore players have any merit to them. Because the HD version is still great and it's still full feature complete. So yeah, so I'll definitely play the original version. And I just love this artwork. The American artwork is still pretty decent, but there's just the simplistic white background, Yoshitaka Amano artwork. It's just beautiful, and I love it. Alright, so the next games are the ones that I bought, and ones that I've wanted for a while, especially this one. So this is PSP, Final Fantasy Type 0. Now, the reason why I wanted this game for a really long time, is pretty much for as long as I've known it existed, was because it actually never got a Western release. It did eventually this came out in 2011. In 2015, it got a HD version on PS4 and Xbox One and PC, I think, as well. But this original PSP version never got a localization. And Square Enix said that the reason for that was because at the time, PSP games weren't selling well in the West. And if you also look, I'll open it up, it comes on 2 discs. Now, I think there's pretty much like 3 PSP games in total, like across its whole library, that come on 2 discs. And all of them remained Japanese exclusive. One of them, which was Trails, got an English release, but digital only, so not physical. So physically, there were no English releases of multi-disc games. So I think that was another reason why as well. They didn't want to increase the production costs for 2 games, 2 discs for an audience they didn't think it would sell well with, which is a shame because it's a great game, especially the PSP version. It was really graphically ahead of its time for the PSP, and it's also thematically different from other Final Fantasy games. Like it's higher rated, it's a C rather than the other games which are a B, which is like the Japanese version of like an MA rating here in Australia or an M rating in the United States. So it's a bit more graphic, a bit more dark, a bit more mature, a bit more violent, which had never been seen for the series at that point. So yeah, I'm definitely going to play it, especially the PSP version, because I did find an English translation patch for it, which is a perfect patch, and it got a lot of legal attention when Square Enix released the HD version. But because I own a physical, legal copy of the game, they can't sue me for playing it. So fuck them. But great game. I can't believe I have this in my collection. I mean, it's just sometimes I just look at it. I just hold it and look at it. It's just great. All right, PlayStation 1 time. I love the PlayStation 1. Grew up with it. Final Fantasy Tactics. I've never played it. Well, yeah, I've never played it. I plan on playing it. I know that a remaster just came out. But the thing is, I'm a bit weird. I always want to play the original versions. I know that's a bit contradictory because I just said about Final Fantasy X, but I was younger then. Recently, since I've got a PlayStation 3 and I can play all these old games, I've wanted to experience the original versions first before I play any sort of like remaster or remake or anything. So that's one of the reasons why I got this, and because I've heard nothing but good things about Tactics, even though I've never really been a tactical game sort of guy. Uh, I like Final Fantasy, and I've heard that the story is fantastic. So I'll have to play this, and I've heard that the remaster doesn't include content from the PSP release because the PSP this game came out on PSP, and it had extra content for that version, but that content isn't being added or kept, I should say, in the remaster. So I'll probably have to play that as well before I get to the remaster. So I just want to open this up because there's something extra about this game that I want to talk about. So there's the disc, the game disc, Final Fantasy Tactics. There's a manual. But here, there's a second disc. It's a preview disc that I wasn't aware of when I bought the game. I thought it was just a one disc game because it's quite a thick case, and they usually reserve these thick cases for multiple disc games. So I saw it, and it's basically just a bunch of demos for upcoming Square games. I can't remember exactly what was on them, but one of them was Front Mission, which is another tactical sort of game with mechs. But I think that's really cool. I mean, it is an advertisement, but you know, in my childhood, not having any internet, not having any money, these sort of things were essential for people like me in order to gauge whether a game is worth playing. So if I played this and I played Front Mission, I'm like, fuck, that game is awesome. It's done its job, hasn't it? So, but yeah, again, another good pickup. And one thing I got to say, this place that my brother got these games from, these cases are pristine. Like, they're not just good quality. It's like the game just came out today and I just took it off the shelf. Like, it's in perfect condition. It almost makes me feel guilty about opening it and playing it, but not completely. Alright, so next game, Chrono Cross. Again, another just nearly perfect Square game. I probably shouldn't say that because I haven't finished it. But it's a game that I've wanted to play through all the way through. It's sort of like a semi-sequel, spiritual successor to Chrono Trigger, which I have played, which is a fantastic game, which everyone would already know anyway. But this also got a recent remaster. But again, like I said, I want to play the original, so I want to play the original first. And having a physical of this is really good because when I was looking on eBay for physicals, they were so expensive. Like I saw one for $100, and I think this costs around 2,100 yen, which is about $20 Australian. So just significantly cheaper. And so I'll open it. This is a multi-disc game. So you've got the manual here. Try and get it out. There's the manual. So there's 2 discs. 1, 2. I love multi-disc games, you know. And I can't wait to play it. I've put it off for a bit because I know it's a pretty long game, and the thing about long JRPGs is that they're sort of intimidating because of their length. So, but from what I've heard, it's like an S tier story. So I can't wait. Because Chrono Trigger had an S tier story as well. So, and it's the same writer One of the writers of Chrono Trigger returned as the writer and director of this game, and it has an unbelievable, incredible soundtrack. Pretty much most Square games back in the PS1 days had great soundtracks, but this is just like next level. Like, even though I haven't played the game all the way through, I still listen to the soundtrack because it's just sublime. Especially the world map theme. Oh, so good. All right, so the last game and the most expensive one, but maybe the best, Final Fantasy Collection. Now, this was a Japanese only release, like this specific version. So this includes a PS1 version of Final Fantasy 4, 5, and 6. So I'll show you. Take this off. So here's the manual. Again, beefy manual, and it includes sections for each game. So there's 4 there, 5 there, 6 there, right? But you open it, it's like one of those fold-out ones. So there you go. So you got 4 on the left, 5 in the middle, and 6 on the right. There. Now, the PS1 versions of these games, because they're initially released on the SNES, Super Nintendo. So the PlayStation 1 versions aren't the best. They have a bit of loading before battle. But I wanted this because it's just having physical versions of those was just a dream of mine. And I mean, just look at it. Like, it's a conversation starter. People come in and are like, oh, what's that? I've never seen that before. And you just explain it to them. It's 4, 5, and 6. I mean, it's just perfect. And I've played 6, but I haven't played 4 and 5. So I'm keen to play those. And again, I don't want to play the remasters first, the recent Pixel remasters that came out, because I want to experience them how they originally were. And I don't have a SNES. So buying the SNES versions of those games would have been cool. Having the boxes, I love the Japanese Super Famicom boxes of those games. That would have been cool, but it would have just sat there and I would have just been looking at it and I wouldn't have been able to play it. When I bought these games, I wanted to play them. I didn't want to just keep them on a shelf and just look at them and let them collect dust. I wanted to play them. That's why I bought them. So yeah, there was another game that my brother sent me that was in one of these shops, was Final Fantasy V on the Game Boy Advance, and it was like mint condition. It's about $80, and I thought at that price maybe, but I didn't. I sort of regret not getting it because it would have been an awesome thing to have in my collection, but I wouldn't have been able to play it because I don't have a Game Boy Advance. So yeah, so that gets in the way. But thankfully he found this, so that was perfect for me. Alright, so that's everything. I hope you enjoyed my little rants about these games. I love collecting games, and I love old school PS1, PS2, PSP games, and I love talking about them. So thank you for watching if you're still here, and hopefully I'll do some more of this type of video in the future. Thank you.